Since April of this year, the Ukrainian economy has accelerated the growth. This is due to higher yields and greater domestic demand. But industry and investment growth, while transfers from Ukrainian migrant workers increased by 12%. Abstract figures of GDP growth is converted into poverty reduction. According to the head of the World Bank office in Ukraine, Kokinen, if at the peak of economic crisis in 2015, below the poverty line was about 27% of Ukrainians, now almost halved to 14.5%. The World Bank said that this year the economy is growing thanks to early and high yield, a record for the second consecutive year, and also due to growth in the sectors dependent on domestic demand, in trade, finance and transport. Ukrainian employers, fearful workers, is that going to increase salaries? In particular, real wages in Ukraine grew by almost 10% since the beginning of the year. However, labor migration is still growing. From January to September, the Ukrainian Zarybichane-listed home is 12% more than in the same period last year. However, the Ukrainian labor migrants are not only fighters against poverty in Ukraine. It is from them, not from investors, the country receives a significant part of hard currency. They and their remittances home to help close the deficit of the Ukrainian accounts, in which imports exceed exports. At the same time, foreign investors are investing in government securities. They attract high interest rates. Foreign direct investments since the beginning of the year amount to only 0.6% of GDP. To the country's economy with strong and incomes of citizens at a decent level, it is important for Ukraine to grow by more than 4%, not 2 quarters, not 2 years, but during the period not less than 30 years, says a leading economist of the World Bank for Ukraine, Farouk Khan. If the government will be able to perform the ambitious program of reforms, the Ukrainian economy will grow faster, up to 3.7% in 2020 and to 4% in 2021, say at the World Bank. At the same time, even optimistic estimates of the experts of the bank are somewhat smaller than announced. Prime Minister Alexei Goncharuk, who says that in the next 5 years, the Ukrainian economy could grow by 40%. And all this at the same time preserving financial and monetary stability, that is, without increasing the budget deficit, payment of debt, low inflation and strong exchange rate of the hryvnia. Moreover, as noted in the World Bank, the Ukrainian government should pay attention to the potential risks next year, a fall in prices for traditional Ukrainian exports, metals and grain, as well as possible loss of income from the transit of Russian gas across the Ukrainian territory.